What's the most ridiculous reason for which you've been dumped? She thought I killed her horse with voodoo. It hung itself, because I was jealous of it. I wish I still had the text, but long story short, she was mad I didn't grab her butt in public, on our first date. After going out with this guy for 6 months, I asked him if we were dating and he immediately ghosted me. God told me not to date you. I'm sorry. And guess what? This happened twice with 2 different girls. You need to find God, bro, because he's clearly got a problem with you. She found out the truck I was driving was owned by my mom. Guess it was a dumped truck. When I was young we played spin the bottle and I made a kiss-moi sound before we kissed. An hour later she sent her best friend to my soccer game to break up with me. He dumped me because I cheated on him, in his dream. Dumped might be extreme, but on our first date, a girl asked me to go buy her popcorn literally as the movie started, so I did. Whispered as I was getting up, "You want butter on that?" Brought it back and she says, "Is there butter on this?" I said, "Yes." I asked, "And you said yeah." She said, "No." I specifically said, "Nah." I thought she was joking or something. It was like a Seinfeld bit. So I said, "Well, maybe this just isn't going to work out." And she said, "I think you're right. Thanks for nothing," and freaking left. But she took my popcorn. She should have at least thanked me for that. I'm not ready for a relationship. I thought it was a bad time to bring that up since we were engaged and had been together for almost 2 years. Made a girl smile too much. She had braces and it cut up the inside of her mouth. She wanted to pity date a guy to not hurt his feelings, even though she and I were exclusive. Temporarily, she would let him down kindly. Spoiler alert, it just ended in 2 ticked off guys and a sad girl. I was dating a guy whose parents didn't like me. It was a long-distance relationship, and so we mostly chatted online but also made occasional phone calls. So we were talking on the phone, and at one point I said, "You shouldn't have to choose between me and your parents." The conversation continued, we decided to break up. We stayed friends. Something like 10 years later, we were talking online when the subject of our breakup came up. Turns out he thought I had said, "You should have to choose between me and your parents," and decided that he wasn't going to do that. I would never give someone that kind of ultimatum, that would be ridiculous. It blew my mind that a single misheard word caused us to break up, and we didn't realize it for 10 years. One of my exes dumped me saying that he wanted to be like Paul from the Bible. He was, of course, referring to Paul being single and abstinent. But the kicker is that about a month later he had a new girlfriend. Not me, but one of my friends who's a senior in high school got dumped by her boyfriend who she dated for almost 2 years. He dumped her because he didn't want to go to the school dance. A few days later he texted her to tell her that he wanted to get back together, but she declined. He could have just told her that he didn't want to go and still be with her, or just go to the stupid dance. My ex's cat was named Ben. The girl I was dating's cat was named Bundles. One day, I called Bundles Ben. She asked me what I just called her cat. I thought about it and then remembered that was my ex's cat's name. I laughed and told her, and she was super unimpressed. Broke up with me the next day. Dated a chick in my early 20s, we partied a lot at the time. One night I refused to get into her car and go for the drive home since we were obliterated. She got upset, said "freak you" to me, and said, "I'll be fine on my own." Receive a call from her 36 hours later, she'd been bailed out of jail already. "You're a freaking jerk, it's your fault I went to jail. I am breaking up with you." I hung up and giggled. Because I wouldn't drop the restraining order on him. Apparently, me calling the police on him to get him out of my house, putting a restraining order on him because he was trying to kill me, and then calling the police on him when he broke the restraining order didn't mean we broke up. It took standing in front of a judge to extend my restraining order for him to tell me, "Whatever, bench, it's over," because I guess I was just joking with everything else. On the surface, it sounded okay. My GF and I were kind of fizzling out. But when she dumped me, she said it was because I was not religious enough. She wanted to go to church every Sunday and for major religious holidays. I was okay with her going, but I was conflicted about religion at the time, so I didn't want to go. So that is what she said when she dumped me. It seems like a decent reason. What made it ridiculous is that about 6 months later, she was dating the president of the college atheist group. College GF stat won $1 million in the state lottery over winter break. Broke up with me over the phone, telling me now that I'm rich, I can't afford to date regular people like you. That's really the only thing wrong, you're just regular. I'm a Gemini. The guy I was dating broke up with me cause he had family problems. I was all like, "I'm so sorry. I'm here if you need me." 2 days later I find out he lied and asked out one of my best friends and she said yes. About a week later I asked him why he dumped me and he left me on the road. We were 14 and I wore a tank top for the first time in his presence. Turned out I had way more cleavage than he was comfortable with and he dumped me over the phone. I said love you, she got mad I forgot the I. Apparently, I gave her too much anxiety when I bought her a coffee that one morning and she broke up with me the same week. My boyfriend broke up with me because he was moving away to go to puppet school. It was clearly your fault because you wanted a no strings attached relationship. I don't feel a spark of anything when we kiss anymore. At that time I got hit in the mouth with a bat and couldn't kiss her for the past month. If you didn't want to be with me just say it or at least come up with a better lie to dump me over. My first girlfriend told me once that I loved my dog more than her. I said that I did and she didn't talk to me for a week, which at the time felt like an eternity. We ended up getting back together for another month. She broke up with me because she found these guys at the flea market who were hitting on her, gave them my number, and they called to fight for her. I said no. A disagreement about whether a milkshake was ice cream. It was winter, 2 a.m., I'm driving her home. We're talking, having a good time, things are great. She says she wants some ice cream. Where in the heck am I going to get that in this season at this time of night? So I stop in a fast food place and order a milkshake, the closest I figured they had, and she gives me a dumb look. The conversation escalated. She refused to drop it no matter how much I insisted it wasn't a big deal, and when I finally got to her dorm, she hopped out of the car, slammed my door, and blocked me on social media. I haven't spoken to her since. We had a similar fight about whether maroon was red earlier in the relationship, but somehow we managed to recover from that one. When I was young my GF dumped me cause I was too black and I was killing her vibe. Charlotte, if you ever read this, I hope you burn in heck. I wouldn't take her virginity in a Burger King bathroom. Welcome to Ireland. Finally grew a spine and started thinking with a big brain upstairs. I got into an argument over trying to initiate sexy time, was trying to do everything she told me to, got blown off and showed my frustration. I said what do you want me to do? I'm trying to do everything we talked about and you keep pushing me away even more now. She said, you're a 25-year-old man, you should just know what I want and how I want and when I want it. So I replied, let me get this straight, you want me to just know exactly what you want and exactly when and how to go about it? She replied, yes. I said, babe that's called reading your mind, and no one in the world can read minds. I came home from work, at midnight mind you, and was told, pack your crap and move out, I'm impossible to deal with. Not dumped, but shut down. I asked her out and she sort of freaked. Like, on a date? A date? Oh crap, I want to say yes, but I can't. Every time I've dated a guy I liked we ended up hating each other. But I want to, but I can't. So, I know. You're my gay friend. I can't date you, because you're gay. Awesome. I have a gay friend now. Oh crap, I'm late for class. Bye. I was like what the freak just happened? The other people of our social group were similarly confused. It was me doing the dumping. Looking back, I know this may be kinda shallow, but I recently went on a few dates with a girl, but I ultimately friend-zoned her because she told me Lord of the Rings is trash. This happened when I was 21, and the girl was 22. She was Hispanic, and I'm white. We were in the phase before a relationship, so I guess we were seeing each other? Anyways, we got along great, and to this day, I still think she is just an amazing person with a heart of gold. We were out to eat one night at Applebee's, and the conversation of food came up. We discussed our favorite foods, what we didn't like, etc. She mentioned something about trying new things, specifically things like Rocky Mountain oysters, bull testicles, frog legs, etc. I'm a relatively picky eater, admittedly, so I told her I didn't think that I could try any of those things. The rest of the night went on just fine, and I didn't think anything of it. A couple of nights later when I was talking to her on the phone, she said she didn't think we should see each other anymore, because she believed that I'm prejudiced against other people's cultures. After all, I won't try any of their traditional foods. TLDR, a girl dumped me because I wouldn't eat bull testicles. My first wife dumped me because she said her boyfriend was around to spend more time with her and our son. I was deployed to Afghanistan. You're too normal. And then she went back with her ex. An ex-convict pusher who thinks that a shiner is an act of love. I love you so much and want to spend the rest of my life with you. We have to break up. If it's really meant to be then we will end up together again like they do in the movies. Ex wanted me to drop out of my master's program 6 months before graduation so I could work at Walmart for the rest of my life. And it hurt his feelings I had a higher degree than him. So him being ridiculous made me dump him. Smile. We have to break up. I mean, we can't even get married. You're allergic to fish. She chose the occasional tuna sandwich over me. I laughed and still tell the story, so I guess it's a win. I was too clingy. She got mad every time I hung out with anyone that wasn't her. Not dumped, but had a friend who completely ghosted on me, never to talk to me again simply because I got more marks on the midterm than him. Still think about it sometimes to this day. Ridiculous. He said he didn't want to see me anymore because he didn't like that I had played with an Ouija board when I was a kid. You didn't help me or support me with anything. I spent most of my time doing her job on the horse farm and doing extra work on top of that so she could focus on competitive riding. I got dumped because the headlights on my car didn't come on automatically when I started my car. I'm assuming he had other reasons, but this is what I was told. And I love laughing at it. We went to rival colleges and I had graduated from the bad one. Yep. I was 17, he was 19. He said Jesus told him to break up with me because I was too much of a temptation. Because I ate my pizza with a knife and fork. She told me that it made me seem too upscale. Actually had a guy dump me because I'm a carpenter, and according to him, it's just not ladylike. My ex told me that I'm too nice. But in a bad way. We watched the movie Vanilla Sky and he started crying and said he wasn't sure I was real anymore, or if I was his ex, or if his whole life was a lie. Was so bizarre.